While it was fun having Mark Passwaters of Rivals.com join us this week to talk Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher, Passwaters does a great job. We all know what this show is about, what this show entails, and that's bringing you, the Alabama football fan, the one that craves the content, the one that enjoys watching this football team Saturdays in the fall. This show geared toward University of Alabama football. And with that being said, welcome back into the conversation from the break, known as In My Own Words, Stephen M. Smith, Touchdown Alabama Magazine, back for the final segment for this edition of shows. And before we jump into our last topic, congratulations in order for the Crimson Tide with its 2019 signing class is concerned. Alabama has been looking to pick up more skilled players, got a verbal commitment from Keelan Robinson, four-star running back from the Washington, D.C. area. Robinson, 5'9", 175-pound, all-purpose back. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch tape on this young man, very fast, dynamic with the ball in his hands in open space. He's kind of got that Alvin Kamara meets Kenyon Drake meets Darren Sproles vibe, if that makes any sense to the imagination. Quick, shifty, good feet, soft hands coming out the backfield. Like what I'm seeing so far with Keelan Robinson, studying his tape. But Crimson Tide 2019 class looking more and more just dominant with each passing day, with each guy this coaching staff's been able to bring on. Staff has done an unbelievable job. Alabama can sign up to 27 guys in this class. The latest, Keelan Robinson, four-star back from the Washington, D.C. area. If you haven't been tuning in to what we've been doing this offseason, go to Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube channel right now. Subscribe, like the podcast, leave comments, thoughts, concerns. Want to hear from you, the smart Crimson Tide football fan. What we've been doing, we've been breaking down the top 5 at each position at Alabama under the Nick Saban era. We've talked about offensive linemen, safeties, cornerbacks, defensive linemen, and now we look at the outside linebacker position. This is one for me that will not have a top 5. I've actually made this a top 3. And the reason why, there were outside backers at Alabama under Nick Saban that were great pass rushers. They knew what their job was. Your job is to solely go after the quarterback. We are turning you loose on the signal caller. Make him look like a rag doll. Go after the quarterback. And then you've had linebackers where their job was to solely stop the run. Read your keys, hit your gap, attack the running back. And then we had outside linebackers where their job was just play the coverage lane, sideline to sideline, lateral quickness. Not too many guys had the skill set of doing all three and actually putting all three into practice. So there's a number of honorable mention guys we have here. Tim Williams is one of those guys. He never fully developed as a run stuffer. He never developed as a coverage linebacker, and he really didn't have to due to Nick Saban put him in there solely to attack the quarterback, solely to pressure the signal caller, solely to make the guy throwing the football look like a rag doll. Tim Williams, 19 and a half sacks, 28 and a half tackles for loss in his career. When you look at Corey Reamer, who was in the earlier part of Nick Saban, 2007 to 2009, was not known as a pass rusher. He was more so the guy stopping the run, sideline to sideline, playing the coverage lane. Same thing with Dylan Lee. Dylan Lee was that wild man, played in multiple roles within that linebacking core. Played some inside, played some outside, not the big sacks guy, was pretty good stopping the run, but his big deal was playing the coverage lanes. Go back to that 2015 season, he was the one that had the huge interception against LSU in the 30-16 win, picking off Brandon Harris late in the fourth quarter. You got Xavier Dixon, outside linebacker. You look back at that 2014 season, he led the team in sacks with 9.5, if I'm not mistaken. Big sacks guy, big stuff in the run guy, not big on playing the coverage lane. And then you also have Adrian Hubbard, was known as the sacks guy also. Now, he really didn't fully develop into being a monster sack guy, but he had the potential. Sacks guy, stopping the run guy, not really a pass coverage outside linebacker. So, a lot of guys honorable mention, but there were 3 guys on this list that really did all 3 well, in my opinion. So, to start this off at number 3, give me Eric Anders, who played from 2006 to 2009, was recruited by Mike Shula, coming out of San Antonio, Texas. Eric Anders, 98 career tackles, 66 of those came in 2009. That was 4th on the team. 19 tackles for loss. Anders had 13.5 of those in 2009, which was 2nd on the team. We're talking about 7.5 sacks. 5 of those came in 2009. And we all remember the biggest play of Anders' career, the 2010 BCS National Championship game off the 2009 season. And this came at a time where Texas was mounting the comeback. Garrett Gilbert, backup quarterback, got confidence after Colt McCoy got knocked out of the game in the first quarter. He started to develop that chemistry with Jordan Shipley at wide receiver. The score had become 24-21 Bama late in the fourth quarter. Crimson Tide needed a big play. If it didn't get it, who knows what would have happened. And coming off the blind side of Gilbert, Alabama dials up the blitz. Eric Anders hits home, sacks Gilbert, forces a fumble. Ball was recovered by Courtney Upshaw, and it ended up being a Mark Ingram touchdown, the very next possession for Alabama to seal the victory, sealing a national championship, first of the Nick Saban era. That was a huge play by Anders, coming off the edge, hitting Garrett Gilbert, forcing that fumble, securing that victory. As of right now, Anders, mixed martial arts fighter in the UFC scene, really growing his career as a professional, but he's number 3 to me due to, what he did. He also totaled 23 quarterback hurries combined for 2008 and 2009. In the 2009 season, Anders totaled 17 quarterback pressures, which was a team high. Number 2, top outside linebacker under Nick Saban. Give me Ryan the Angry Man Anderson, who played from 2012 to 2016. Anderson came in that 2012 recruiting class from Daphne High School. This was somebody that had to grow into being the angry man. 2012, Ryan Anderson redshirted. 2013, 2014, started to learn the ropes, especially in 2014, the year in which Alabama did not have much in the cupboard on defense. C.J. Mosley departing to the National Football League. You had to really find guys that would grow into marquee roles. Anderson becoming one of the unsung heroes that season. 25 tackles, 8 of those for loss, 3 sacks. For his career, though, we're looking at 128 tackles, 61 in the 2016 season, which was a career high, 7th on the team. He had 40 career tackles for loss, 19 of those in 2016, a career high for Ryan Anderson, a team high where Alabama is concerned. 18 career sacks for Ryan Anderson, 9 of those in 2016, tied for second on the team. He had 30 quarterback hurries in his career. He had 10 in both 2015 and 2016, 3 fumble recoveries in his career, and then, of course, that 2016 season as a whole for Ryan Anderson, he was just a dog. I mean, 2015, he was outstanding, but 2016, his senior year, when you look at the 61 tackles, the 19 tackles for loss, the 9 sacks, 10 quarterback pressures, and then he had the critical interception in the college football playoff semifinal game against Washington, going back to that sideline to sideline. Huge pick 6 off of Jake Browning, took it back for a touchdown, critical in the 24-7 win over the Huskies. Anderson was named the defensive MVP for that football game. He also gave the interesting press conference afterwards when he talked about, everybody overlooking me. Nobody giving me no love. Nobody giving me no credit. Everybody doubting me. Ryan Anderson trying to make sure everybody had the eyeballs on him. And this was a young man that ended up being selected in the 2017 draft along with his teammate, Jonathan Allen, to the Washington Redskins. Both guys expecting big seasons this fall. Number 2, Ryan the Angry Man Anderson. And number 1 outside linebacker on my list of the 3 I have in the Nick Saban era, Courtney Upshaw from 2008 to 2011 came in Nick Saban's first big-time recruiting class, 2008. Courtney Upshaw, 141 total tackles in his career. He had 52 each in the 2010 and 2011 seasons. We're talking 36 and a half tackles for loss, 18 of those in 2011, a career high for Courtney Upshaw, a team high where Alabama is concerned. He had 14 and a half stops for loss in 2010, which was a team high. 17 and a half career sacks for Courtney Upshaw, 9 and a half in 2011, team high. 7 in 2010, also a team high. Courtney Upshaw had a pick 6 in his career. And this was somebody that was 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 272 pounds, big guy. Had a pick 6 in his career. 2010 game against Florida, took an interception, 45 yards for a touchdown. 16 quarterback hurries in his career, 10 of those in 2011, which was a team high. The big thing with Courtney Upshaw, that 2011 season, he was the centerpiece on a defense that led the nation in all 5 major categories: scoring defense, total defense, rush defense, pass efficiency defense. Alabama ran college football in all 5 of those categories, and a lot of that was geared toward Courtney Upshaw. Upshaw would go on to be a first-team All-American 2011, first-team All-Southeastern Conference selection that same season, was drafted in the second round of a 2012 draft to the Baltimore Ravens, ended up winning a Super Bowl that season with that team. From Baltimore, he would end up going to the Atlanta Falcons, came so close to winning a Super Bowl in 2016. Why, Kyle Shanahan, do you not run the football with Devontae Freeman? You got Tom Brady on the ropes. Knock him out. Kyle Shanahan could not. The Atlanta Falcons could not knock out Tom Brady. And that was the game where Courtney Upshaw even had a sack of Tom Brady. But I digress from that statement. Upshaw right now just signed a deal as a free agent with the New York Jets. So Todd Bowles gets a big-time defensive end, outside linebacker, hybrid player in Courtney Upshaw. But he is my number one guy. Upshaw, a part of 2 national championships, 2009 and also the 2011 season. So, running back through this again, 3, couldn't have a top 5 because I was looking for the complete packages at outside linebacker, could only do a top 3. My 3, at number 3, Eric Anders. Number 2, Ryan Anderson. Number 1, Courtney Upshaw. A lot of honorable mention guys. A lot of guys that did some things well. Tim Williams, great pass rusher, did not have to stop the run, did not have to go sideline to sideline, so didn't really develop those skills. Corey Reamer, great run stuffer, great sideline to sideline guy, was not tasked with rushing the passer because of guys like Courtney Upshaw, Rolando McClain, Eric Anders, Marcel Darius, Brandon Dederick. Dylan Lee, same deal. Great sideline to sideline quickness, pretty good at stopping the run, did not have to rush the quarterback because of guys like Jonathan Allen, Tim Williams, Ryan Anderson. Those guys were eating the quarterback. Xavier Dixon, not the best sideline to sideline guy. Alabama needed him for sacks, was able to get that done. Adrian Hubbard, the same deal. But Eric Anders, Courtney Upshaw, Ryan Anderson, my 3 outside linebackers that were complete in the Nick Saban era. Great week of shows, ladies and gentlemen. Superb week of shows. Got a chance to go over a number of topics, whether it was looking at top defensive linemen under Nick Saban at Alabama. Got the chance to talk with my man Mark Passwaters, covers Texas A&M for Rivals.com, and looking at my outside linebackers. Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube channel. Subscribe for the best, the latest, the up-to-date information on Crimson Tide football. If you have a thought, if you have a comment, if you have your own list, drop those right there. Love the interaction, love the conversation. We're pumping out podcasts 3 days a week. The goal, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, new sauce, new shows, new energy. Trying to be on that type of consistency, but definitely getting you that podcast 3 days a week. If YouTube is not your thing, check out Touchdown Alabama Magazine on SoundCloud for all the audio folks out there. We know you guys on the go, working out, picking up kids from school, going to the grocery store, doing your thing. Check out Touchdown Alabama Magazine on SoundCloud. For all of us here at The Brand, I'm yours truly, Stephen M. Smith. When we return in the next edition of the show, continuing top 5 at Alabama under the Nick Saban era, and more conversation to the fire. Until then, it's in my own words. So long, everybody. It's your boy, Stephen M. Smith, host of In My Own Words, the podcast. If you are a fan of this show, then I encourage you to subscribe to the Touchdown Alabama Magazine YouTube channel. Also follow the brand on Facebook, Twitter, and other forms of social media as we continue to bring you the best in Alabama football and Crimson Tide athletics.